Welcome to Math Mantra channel. Today we are doing the chapter of Euclidean ring. So let's start Euclidean ring. An integral domain, that is a commutative ring without zero divisor R, is said to be Euclidean ring or an Euclidean domain if corresponding to every non-zero element A belongs to R. We can assign a non-negative integer dA such that for all AB belongs to R, where neither A nor B equal to 0 and dA is less than equal to dAB. And for all AB belongs to R with B is non-zero, there exist Q and R in R such that A equal to BQ plus R, where either R equal to 0 or dR is less than dB. Thus function D is called the Euclidean valuation on R, and the condition 2 is called the Euclidean algorithm. Right? Now let's do the first theorem on this Euclidean ring, that is the integral domain Z with plus dot as compositions of integers is an Euclidean domain. Now to show this, to prove it that Z is a Euclidean domain, we define the valuation D by dA is equal to mod A for A not equal to 0 belongs to Z. Let AB be any non-zero element of Z, then dA equal to the absolute value of A. dAB is equal to A mod of AB plus equal to mod A mod B. Since mod A is less than equal to mod A mod B, it follows that dA is less than equal to dAB. Let AB belongs to Z such that B is not equal to 0. If B is not equal to 0, then there exist two integers Q and R belongs to Z such that A equal to BQ plus R, where R lies between 0 to B. Let B greater than 0, then if R is not equal to 0 implies R is less than B, that implies mod R is less than mod B, and that implies dr is less than dB. So first property is proved. To prove second property, if B is less than 0, then minus B will be greater than 0 such that A equal to minus B into Q plus R, where R lies between 0 and minus B. So A is equal to minus Q into B plus R. So if R is not equal to 0, then R is less than minus B, implies mod R is mod less than mod B. That implies dr is less than dB. So this is in Euclidean ring, hence the proof is. Now let's prove the ring of Gaussian integer is also an Euclidean domain. Now, the ring of Gaussian integer is the set of all those A plus iota B types elements where AB belongs to Z. This is the ring of Gaussian integers. Now, we know that Zi is an integral domain. Let us define a function d on the non-zero element of Zi by dA plus iota b is equal to a square plus b square for all 0 plus 0 iota not equal to a plus iota b belongs to Z iota. Obviously, dA plus iota b is greater than 0 as A is non-zero and B is non-zero. Let Z1, Z2 be the two non-zero elements of Zi such that Z1 is not equal to 0, Z2 is not equal to 0, and Z1 is A plus iota B IB, Z2 is C plus iota ID, then d Z1 Z2 is equal to d of A plus iota B into C plus iota D, that is d of AC minus BD plus iota AD plus BC, that is equal to AC minus BD ka square plus AD plus BC ka whole square. So this is equal to A square plus B square into C square plus D square. That is equal to d of A plus iota B, d of C plus iota D. So this is greater than equal to A square plus B square, as C square plus D square is greater than equal to 1. Therefore, dz1 z2 is greater than equal to dz1, or dz1 is less than or equal to dz1 z2. Now let z1, z2 belongs to zi be arbitrary. So consider z is equal to z1 over z2. That is equal to a plus iota b over c plus iota d. That is equal to a plus iota b into c minus iota d over c square plus d square equal to a plus iota b, where a, b are the rational numbers and z is not necessarily a Gaussian integer. Right? Because when a, b are the integers, then only it is the a plus iota b is the Gaussian integer. Here a and b are rational numbers, so it may or may not be a Gaussian integer. Choose the integer nearest to a and b. Let these be a dash and b dash respectively. Then absolute value of a dash minus a is less than equal to half, and absolute value of b dash minus b will be less than equal to half. Right? Now let z dash is equal to a dash plus iota b dash be a Gaussian integer. Now z is equal to z1 over z2 implies z1 is equal to z2, and z1 is equal to z dash z2 plus z z2 minus z dash z2, that is equal to z dash z2 plus z into z minus z dash into z2. Since z1, z2, z dash are Gaussian integers, therefore z minus z dash z2 is also a Gaussian integer. Also z minus z dash into z2 is equal to a plus iota b minus a dash plus iota b dash into c plus iota d, and that is equal to a minus iota dash plus iota b minus b dash, taking real and imaginary part differently, into c plus iota d. Therefore d of z minus z dash into z2 is equal to d of a minus a dash plus iota b minus b dash into c plus iota d, or this is equal to d of a minus a dash plus iota b minus b dash into d of c plus iota d, or this is equal to a minus a dash square plus b minus b dash square it's into dz2, that is less than equal to 1 over 2 square plus 1 over 2 square into dz2. So this is equal to 1 over dz2, that is less than dz2. Thus d of z minus z dash z2 is less than dz2. Now if a and b are integers, then z minus z dash into z2 is equal to a minus a dash plus iota b minus b dash into c plus iota d is equal to 0 plus iota 0 into c plus iota d is equal to 0. Therefore z minus z dash into z2 is equal to 0. Thus we have shown that z1 is equal to z dash z2 plus z minus z dash z2, where z dash into z minus z dash into z2 belongs to zi, and either z minus z dash z2 is 0 or d of z minus z dash z2 is less than dz2. Hence zi is an Euclidean ring. Now let's prove that every field is an Euclidean ring. Now let f be a field. Let us define the valuation d by d a equal to 0 for 0 is not equal to a belongs to f. That is, to every non-zero element a belongs to f, we have assigned the integer 0. Let ab is not equal to 0 belongs to f, then ab is not equal to 0 and ab belongs to f. Therefore d of ab equal to 0 equal to d of a. Further, if a belongs to f and b is non-zero element of f such that ab inverse belongs to f, then a equal to ab inverse b plus 0, which is of the type a equal to bq plus r, where q equal to ab inverse belongs to f and r equal to 0. Hence every field is an Euclidean ring. Okay. Now let's do the next theorem, that is, let R be a Euclidean ring and S be an ideal of R, then there exists an element A naught belongs to S such that S is equal to A naught R such that R belongs to R. So If we take A naught equal to 0, then S is just the singleton 0 and the theorem is proved in this case. Okay. Now let S is equal to not equal to the singleton 0 such that there exists at least one non-zero element A in S. अब जो अगर नॉन ज़ीरो है कोई रिंग, सिर्फ सिंगलटन ज़ीरो नहीं है, तो कोई नॉन ज़ीरो एलिमेंट ज़रूर एग्जिस्ट करेगा. ओके. नाउ कंसिडर एन एलिमेंट A naught बिलोंग्स टू S सच दैट D A naught इज़ मिनिमल. That is, D A naught is less than D A for all A naught not equal to A belongs to S. Right? Now let A belongs to S be arbitrary, then there exist Q and R belongs to R such that A equal to A naught Q plus R, where R is equal to 0, or dr is less than dA naught because R is a Euclidean ring. Now Q belongs to R, A naught belongs to S, and this implies A naught Q belongs to S. Why? Because S is an ideal of R. Therefore, A naught Q belongs to S and A belongs to S implies A minus A naught Q belongs to S. Right? But it is equal to R, therefore R belongs to S. So, dA naught is less than dr. Okay. So, dA naught is less than dr. But R is 0. This implies R is 0. Okay. By the one, because when A equal to A naught Q plus R, where R equal to 0 or dr is less than dA naught. Here dA naught is less than dr, so R must be equal to 0. This implies A equal to A naught Q. Therefore, it follows that A belongs to S can be expressed as A naught Q. Or we can say that S contained in A naught R such that R belongs to R. But A naught belongs to S implies A naught R belongs to S for all R belongs to R, and so A naught R is such that R belongs to R contained in S. Hence S is equal to A naught R such that R belongs to R. Okay. So the theorem is